Okay, so day 3 is exciting. This is the day I get to share with you something that used to drive me bonkers, and that is EXOCAD. For the longest time, I went to different courses trying to learn this material, specifically all on X. The problem is most technicians don't want to teach this. And so you really have to dig in deep if you wanted to learn how to do all on X as a doctor. So over the last 4 years, I've been on a journey creating every single case, learning, growing. I come with a workflow that works perfectly and is really efficient and stress-free. The first thing you need to do is decide that this is something that is important to you, because EXOCAD is something that really can change your life dramatically, change the way you practice dramatically, even if it's being able to modify the cases that another designer sends to you. Nothing can be more frustrating, and I'm sure you've felt this way as you've gotten a case back and you look at the script and the technician failed to do any of the things you asked them to do. I know I had this over and over again, to the point where I felt like I was babysitting and spending most of my time trying to get my stuff back on time and that it was done correctly. At that point, I said, I'm just done babysitting and I'm gonna go all in and learn this EXOCAD so that one day I can sit down and I can teach other doctors and maybe technicians in the future how to finish these cases as easy as possible. So EXOCAD brings up a lot of extra conversations. One is, what are we going to use as the connection between the zirconia and the implants? There's different connections out there. You can do it under a tie base. You can do it under a screw that goes directly from zirconia into the abutment. There's 2 types that are out there right now: Abonime Powerball or Dan Rosen's Rosen screw. And I've used all these and I'm familiar with the pros and cons to each, and I'll talk to you about each one of these. See, here's the thing, EXOCAD does have limitations. And the reason why so many technicians fail to give us back what we really want is because the software kind of forces them to do things that are conventionally good for the case. Most of the time, things are over-contoured, but it's the way that EXOCAD sets up all the cases. But I'll tell you, I'm going to teach you a few different ways how to use EXOCAD. The first way will be free-forming, meaning that you scan a patient's teeth and you actually recreate the teeth off of that device. This is something I like to do. It takes a little more artistry, but you can be very efficient and you can make it go very quickly. Second way is that you can generate a brand new device that has individual teeth in it. And I'll teach you how to do that most efficiently and save your cases so that you can reincarnate them. You can use them for future cases. Maybe there's a person that you look at their smile and like, yeah, that patient has the dimensions similar to another patient I had. But once you save that, that becomes a case that you can actually use in the future. This is something I could never understand, how you had to start all over again every time. So there's some things you can do. So you're leveraging one case into the next. I'm gonna teach you how to generate a titanium bar underneath the zirconia, something that I don't use all that often, but it's very useful in certain cases. Occlusion is so critical, and I'll teach you how to effectively do lingualized occlusion so that when the patient bites down, you're getting just the right amount of contact. It's even, and it's not too heavy, and allows the teeth to escape the excursives. I'll teach you how EXOCAD and iMetric iCam 4D integrate perfectly together, which is the way I use EXOCAD and iCam 4D. I use some other softwares that I think are really useful at times, beyond Compare. I use this printing software NextDent. HyperDent is something that you have to learn how to use. There's other softwares out there. I'm only familiar with HyperDent. It's a great system. Can be a little bit tricky on the front end, so I'm going to teach you how to efficiently run through your cases. And here's one thing I'm really passionate about. I hate wasting material. So I'm going to teach you how you can use one puck for most of your cases, double arches. That's awesome because really you're cutting the cost down to half. I am so excited to be able to share ExoCAD with you. Truly, I think there's just so very few places out there to learn this effectively where it doesn't drive you crazy and get you frustrated. I promise you, I won't let you down. Show up, bring your computer, bring the dongle so we have it all ready, and then we'll sit down and we'll customize, and we are going to make it so that this becomes something simple and easy for you to do. And then eventually you can train your team to be able to do this for you and you can manage it. But this is a lot better case than having a technician come into your office and you not know how to. And if that technician ever leaves, you're in big trouble.